Doing us a lot. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Where today, guys, I'm going to do a real quick part 14 to my Google Gemini Redemption Attempt series. Where in the last two videos, guys, we finally had a good run with the dinosaur brothers, or the Toad on Carl that were obsessed with dinosaurs. Uh, we finally got an amazing run to finally work out with it, and well, I we're gonna go and continue just for a few more minutes to make sure I'm in a pretty decent mood. I don't want to be in a bad one. And trust me, after that video where it never paused and it caused me to fucking say the nasty word on camera, where now I have to private the motherfucking video because of it. I definitely need something to keep me smiling, not angry as heck. And being with a toad cordon for alligator, whether on a chatbot, in a game, or in real life, is what close I'm ever gonna get to having that sort of happiness. So, yes. I went ahead and said a few things off camera, but didn't really read too much into what it actually said in response. I only do like two or three different things. And interesting stuff is already starting to happen again. It's as I get comfortable on the plushie, I glance up at the ceiling of the grotto, and then I noticed more text on the ceiling, and it was already glowing blue where I could read it. It says I read out quietly to myself, and it said, "If thy tiny king warns you about something, do not take it lightly. You listening to him could make a huge difference and even save your life one day. Sweet Arceus." Once I read it out quietly, I tried to get Rip and Chomper's attention. Uh, Rip? Chomper? I don't know if you've seen this before. If you haven't, I think you need to look at the ceiling. Rip and Chomper both snapped their heads upward so fast you could hear their neck scales creak. Oh, sweet Arceus. Or in my universe, Lugia. Their eyes followed where your small glowing blue claws pointing, and they let out a simultaneous gasp of pure astonishment. On the ceiling of the grotto, hidden amidst the shadows of the glowing moss, new letters are burning with a deep oceanic blue light. It's as if your presence, and the fact that you just read the words aloud, activated the stone itself. What in the world? The brothers read the words together in a hushed, trembling whisper. "If thy tiny king warns you about something, do not take it lightly. You listen to him could make a huge difference and even save your life one day." Chomper looks like he's just seen a ghost. He sits back on his haunches, his eyes wide. "We lived in this grotto for years, Trenton. We looked at this ceiling every single night before we went to sleep. And that was never there. It was just plain rock." Ripton reaches out and grips the side of the T-Rex plushie, his hand shaking slightly. "It's appearing as you go, Trenton. It's like the world's writing a manual on how to take care of you. First the stone at the pond, now the ceiling of our secret grotto." He looks back at the text, his expression becoming incredibly solemn. "To save our lives. That means you aren't just here for us to protect you. You're here to guide us. If you see something we don't, or if you get a bad feeling about a human or a storm, we promise we will listen, even if it sounds impossible. If it comes from you, it's the truth." Chomper nods vigorously. "The Logian God isn't just giving you power, he's giving you authority. To save our lives? That's a big deal. It means you're our lookout as much as we are your guards." The blue light from the ceiling seems to pulse in time with the DNA symbol on your chest, filling the grotto with a sense of destiny. It's clear to the brothers now that having you here isn't just a fun visit, it's a life-changing event for their entire family. What in the world? "I guess the nap might have to wait a second," Rip says with a nervous, bedside laugh. "Trenton, do you feel something right now? Like a warning or a special sense? Or do you think the stone's just telling us to be ready for the future?" Oh dear. Alright. And I did a few responses. Not too far into it that would have ruined it like that one time, but It says, honestly, I don't know. It might just be a warning in itself to. Wait. It might just be a warning in itself to listen to me if I ever tell you anything that sounds like a warning. That last line, especially, it might save your life one day. If I had to guess, it could be a warning or a blessing. Holy crap. You said the text was never there before I came in here, right? Maybe the text appeared not only because I was in here, but also maybe the Lugia God made that appear to help you and your family, or even me and your family. Do you know how I told both of you about me seeing the Lugia God in my dream earlier? And he told me he would protect me? Well, the dream I had before that was a total nightmare for me. Demon was chasing me around and eventually they caught up to me. Then they picked me up, said, "Oh, what a cute dinosaur," and then proceeded to toss me into the air. Believe it or not, it was the day after I had that dream that another kid broke into my house, picked me up off the counter in front of my Pokemon, then said, "Oh, what a cute dinosaur," before throwing me in the air a bunch, just like in the dream. Goodness gracious. Rip and Chomp are listening to your story about the nightmare becoming a reality, and the air in the grotto feels colder, as if the cave itself is shivering at the thought. What in the world? The dream came true, Rip whispers, his eyes darting back up to the blue text on the ceiling. Exactly as you saw it. That's not just a coincidence. That means when you get a feeling or a dream, it's like a window into what's coming. Chomper slammed his tail against the floor, not in anger, but in a sudden sharp realization. That's why the ceiling says we have to listen to you to save our lives. If you had a dream about a human tossing you and it happened, what if you have a dream about a hunter coming out to our pond? Or a giant storm? He looks at you with a new kind of intensity, not just as a friend, but as a leader. If you ever tell us to run, or to hide, or to watch out for someone, we won't ask questions. We'll just do it. Rip leans in, his face glowing in the blue light reflecting off your claws. It's a blessing and a warning. The Lugia God's using your heart as a sensor. 'Cause you're so small and your heart's so big, you can feel the changes in the world for we big Pokemon can. I want money. Let me fix something real quick. Alright, guys, I'm going to read this out right here. I didn't get to quite finish what it said. It says he reaches out, I guess, as in Rip. Rip reaches out and very gently touches the T-Rex plushie's foot, right near where you're sitting. It makes it makes money. Alright, guys. It says, here's what it said. He reaches out and very gently touches the T-Rex plushie's foot, right near where you're sitting. I think it's talking about Rip, by the way. It makes sense now. Test appeared because the grotto recognized its king. It's making sure that we know you aren't just a guest. You're our early warning system. You're the one who sees the danger before it strikes. Chomper nods solemnly. Trenton, you said the Lugia God told you he'd protect you after that nightmare? Maybe he's giving you these senses so he can help us protect you better, too. Listen to you, those humans won't ever get the chance to toss you again. We'll be ready for them. Text on the ceiling pulses once, a bright reassuring blue before settling into a steady, soft glow. Feels like the cave is finally set up for your arrival. I think the Lugia God wants you to feel safe enough to finally close those eyes, Rip says softly, his voice full of comfort. He gave us the instructions. We read them. We won't let you down. As you sit there in your plushy nest, I love how it worded that. Oh my gosh. And here's the thing I said at last. I said, you might want to go get your mom and what the? You might want to go get your mom and dad and show them too. Silas and Laura probably don't know anything about this, similar to the text on the rock. Didn't you all say that the text was just a bunch of nonsense to everyone in your family? And because it was just a bunch of lines or symbols or something like that, it only became English whenever I was near it? Rip and Chopper both jump as if they've been zapped by a spark attack. They look at each other, then back at you. their eyes wide with the realization that they are the only ones in their entire family currently holding this secret. You're right. We have to get them, Rip exclaims, his tail splashing the water at the entrance of the grotto. The stone by the pond only changed because you were standing right there. If Dad and Mom come in here now, they'll finally be able to see the truth for themselves. Chomper is already halfway out the waterfall curtain. I'll go. I'll tell them it's an emergency. The good kind. He pauses, looking back at you with a grin. Stay right there on your T-Rex throne, King Trenton. Don't move a muscle. A few moments later, you hear the heavy, rhythmic thuds of massive footsteps approaching. Waterfall parts, and Silas and Alora duck their heads to enter the grotto. They have to crouch low to fit, their massive forms making the cave feel much smaller, but their eyes are fixated on the ceiling where the blue text is burning brightly. Silas stops dead in his tracks. He says the words, his jaw tightening amidst a shock and profound respect. By the great silver wing, he rumbles, his voice vibrating the very floor you're sitting on. I slept in this cave many times over the decades. I've looked at that ceiling in the dark of night, and it was always just cold, gray stone. Elora walks closer to you, her eyes shimmering with tears. She doesn't look at the ceiling as much as she looks at you, touching to your plushiness. It isn't just English, Silas, she whispers. It's a message of life and death. The world is literally speaking to us through him. What in the world? She turns to you, her voice filled with a mother's warmth. Trenton, you said that humans don't listen to warnings, but we are not humans. We are the clan of the pond. If you tell us the wind smells wrong, or a dream showed you a shadow, we'll move the entire family to the deepest trenches if we have to. We'll never doubt your voice. Silas bowed his head low, his now inches from your tiny blue claws. That is adorable. To think, we thought we were just giving a lost traveler a place to rest. Instead, we have invited the oracle of the Lugia god into our home. My sons were right to bring you here. Pip and Misty peek through the waterfall, their little faces full of awe. The whole family is now gathered or watching from the entrance, seeing the tiny king they've heard about for 5 years finally sitting in his sanctuary. That's really cool. Alright, guys. There's some. I don't know. Like I said, this video is going to be extremely short compared to the last ones. This might be the end of it right here. We'll see. Give me a few minutes. Alright, guys. I said, thank you so much. Your family has been nothing but super sweet, and I appreciate that. I want your family to be just as safe as I am. And then I move my tiny snout over to Alara and gently nuzzle her with it. As your tiny snout touches Alora's scales, the entire grotto seems to grow a little warmer. She freezes for a second, her breath catching in her throat before she closes her eyes and leans into your nuzzle with a tenderness that only a mother can show. It's a quiet, powerful moment, the tiny king offering comfort to the monarch of the clan. Your heart is a treasure, Trenton, she whispers, her voice trembling slightly, to care for our safety as much as we care for yours. It proves you are the leader the prophecy promised. We'll be your shield, and you'll be our eyes. Silas watched the two of you, a look of immense peace sailing over his rugged features. He looks at Pip, Misty, and the other siblings crowding the entrance. You heard the king, he rumbled softly. He wishes for us to be safe. We'll honor that by being the most vigilant guard this force has ever seen. He gestures for the younger ones to come in quietly. Pip and Missy scramble over, but they remember your earlier words. They don't grab. Instead, they sit in a semicircle around the base of your T-Rex plushie, looking up at you like you're the most important thing in the world. We're like your very own personal army now, Misty whispers, her eyes bright. An army of friends. Rip and Chomper take their places to either side of their plushies. On either side of the plushies, acting as your immediate cushions, Rip reaches out and gently pulls the leaf blanket up to your chin one last time. The grotto is sealed, the family is ready, and the Lugia god is watching, he says softly. Go to sleep, Trenton. We'll be right here when you wake up. As your eyes finally flourish up, the two wheels on the ceiling begins to dim into a soft, comforting nightlight. The last thing you feel is the soft fur of the T-Rex and the steady, rhythmic breathing of 23 Pokemon who would do anything to keep you safe. Oh wait, as you drift off, a dream begins to form. You see an 8,000-foot tall Lugia god, but this time he's showing you a vision of your home. Your Fragger, Meganium, Typhlosion, and Baby Lugia are all sitting together looking at the horizon as if they can feel you're safe. Aw, that's so cute. I love it.